Shabbat Shalom. Our parasha is Parashat Toldot. This parasha is going to tell us the stories and the life of Yitzchak. Yitzchak, the son of Abraham. Toldot is the word generations, kids, deeds. Our sages saying, Toldotehem shel tzadikim hem ma'asim tovim. The inheritage, the kids of tzadikim, of the righteous, are good deeds. So it is true that the parasha, starting the Toldot Yitzchak, the stories, the deeds of Yitzchak, but it continues talking about the kids of Yitzchak. Most of the parasha talking about the life of Yaakov and Esav, how it was connected to the life of Yitzchak still. But the main characters are the kids. And it's very interesting because Yitzchak is the father that lived the most. He lived more than Yitzchak, than Abraham, and more than Yaakov. But the Torah tell about him the less. Less than Abraham and less than Yaakov. So let's go through all the stories of our parasha, and we will see to learn about Yitzchak character from the stories that we have in our parasha, and to learn from it to our lives. The parasha starts, "Ve'ele toldot Yitzchak ben Avraham, Avraham holid et Yitzchak," and this is the toldot, the stories of Yitzchak ben Avraham, Yitzchak the son of Avraham, and then the Torah kind of repeating itself. Avraham holid et Yitzchak, Avraham, he is the father of Yitzchak, and we will go into that later. What are the stories that we have in our parasha? The stories are starting with Yaakov and Esav, two sons, twins of Yitzchak. Yitzchak and Rivka, his wife, that we learned last week about their marriage, didn't have kids for many years, 10 years. And then they prayed to Hashem, and Rivka got pregnant, conceived, and she felt strange feelings in her pregnancy. Rashi explained that the feelings that she felt were desireness from the baby inside her belly, desireness to good things and to bad things. So she didn't understood what's going on. Is my son a righteous person or a wicked person? So she went to the prophet in her time. The prophet was Shem, and ever Shem, the son of Noach, still alive and continued to be alive for many years after, and also his son or grandson Ever. So she consulting them, they telling her that she feeling two different desires because she have twins, and one of them is righteous, one of them is wicked. Okay. When she having the babies, so the first one came all red. I found one explanation what is red. So the simple explanation is that he was redhead, and it's interesting why it's important. What is what's going on? And there is another explanation that he was red. It was complete. His colors were complete, meaning his skin was red, like a grown-up. And Yaakov is the second one. Why his name is Yaakov? Because he went out holding his brother's leg. and the end of the leg in Hebrew is Ekev. So this is Yaakov. Two twins growing up, Yaakov sitting and learning, and Yitzchak going to the fields and catching people, and he is a wicked person. When they growing up, Yitzchak loving his son Esav, and his mother, their mother Rivka, loving Yaakov. It's a very interesting topic. How come Yitzchak loving Esav? How come Esav came from Yitzchak? What's their connection? And what is the connection between Yaakov to Yitzchak? And we will also explain what is the connection between Yitzchak to his father Abraham. But Yitzchak loving Esav. The first story that we have in our parasha is Yitzchak, Yaakov and Esav meeting. Yitzchak coming back from the field. He was really tired. Our sage is learning from words that he was so tired he's going to die. He was exhausted. It was after a war. And he's coming to Yaakov eating a specific food. What is this specific food? It's food that we give to people that mourning, because that day was the day of Abraham's passing. And they eating a specific food. It's customary to eat around food. So Yaakov taking this opportunity that Esav is very sick, and he asking him, if you want this food, and Esav really wanted it, you should sell me my firstborn rights. And Esav agreeing for that, and this is the first story. There is many details, interesting details in that story. What was the purpose of this selling, and what was the power, what was the authority of this selling? There is the simple explanation that Yaakov wanted to buy the firstborn rights, and it's mainly talking about double from the inheritance. You want double to inherit from their father double. Okay. But there is the deeper explanations that it's talking about the spiritual powers that the firstborn have, mainly if we're talking about working at the temple. Jerusalem temple, and also in the tabernacle in the desert, the work of the priest was belong in general in the original plan. It was connected to the firstborn, and Yaakov wanted this privilege, this zchut, and Esav did not care. There is a question, interesting question. What is the authority, as I mentioned, of this selling? Why there is no authority? Because a person, according to the Jewish law, cannot buy or sell something that does not exist. I cannot buy the rights of something that is not here. So if we talk about inheritance, what is that I will inherit both, like a double, I cannot buy this privilege. I cannot buy this. So it's a very interesting question. How come? What was the authority? How strong was this buy, if it was according to the laws of Torah or not? If we're talking about spiritual rights, so there is maybe more power, but we will not go into that. But it's another halachic topic, interesting topic that we found in our parasha. So Yaakov buying this, forcing Esav to sell him those rights. After, we have the story of the blessings. Yitzchak want to give blessings to his son. Which son? Esav. Because Esav was deceiving his father with his mouth. He always spoke very, very good things near his father, and he tried to impress him. Yitzchak became very old, and Yitzchak did not see what's going on with his eyes. So Esav used this way to deceive his father, and Yaakov was with his mother. So one day Yitzchak calling Esav, telling him, let's bring me some food. It was Pesach, it was like a sacrifice. We know that Abraham did Pesach and Lot did Pesach, so that is not the first Pesach. And I will give your blessings. And Yitzchak getting food from who? From Yaakov. How come? Because Rivka, hearing that situation, that Yitzchak want to give the blessings to Esav, and she calling Yaakov, giving him the clothes, special clothes of Esav, and she preparing the food and bringing it to Yaakov, that will bring his father, and as Yaakov telling his father that he is Esav, and then he getting the blessings, major blessings. The most high, the most important, the most strong blessings that we have in the Torah is the blessing that Yitzchak blessed Yaakov. Yaakov getting the blessings, going out, Esav getting in with the food, realize the situation, and Yitzchak giving some blessings to Esav, and then Yaakov first to ran away, and Esav saying that his brother deceived him twice. First time that he deceived him was with the born rights, and the second time is with the blessings. We can see the similarity that Yaakov, in order to be deserved the high blessings, he needed to be the firstborn. So actually, the blessings came to the firstborn, and Yaakov was the firstborn after buying it. So it was the same plan, we can call it. So many things we need to understand. We need to understand what's going on between Yitzchak and Esav, what's going on between Esav and Yaakov, what's going on between Abraham and Yitzchak, and I will explain. We will start from the beginning. Our parasha start, those are the stories that happened with Yitzchak. Yitzchak, the son of Abraham. Abraham is the father of Yitzchak. Why the Torah repeating itself? Abraham is the father of Yitzchak. Yitzchak is the son of Abraham. Rashi explained. Abraham was married to Sarah many years. They didn't have kids. Sarah experienced two stories. First one, that she was taken by Paro, and second time that she was taken by another man. She was taken by Avimelech, the king of Plishtim. What was the story? They came to the king, to the land of Plishtim. She was taken by the king, and then before the king even touched her, God revealed himself to the king, told him not to touch her, and he gave Sarah back to Abraham with many gifts and everything. But that was the story. But not everybody knew the story. So when Yitzchak was born, some people said, Yitzchak is not the son of Abraham, he's the son of Avimelech. He's not the son of Abraham. Sarah was married to Abraham so many years. They didn't have kids. In the age of 90 and 100 of Abraham, they have a son. No, it's the son of Avimelech. Rashi continues, what God did, He did the face of Yitzchak exactly like the face of Abraham. And then everybody knew that Abraham is the father of Yitzchak. Now, it's very interesting. God did something special that Yitzchak will look like Abraham. By the way, the Midrash said that people in the time of Abraham did not look very old. And Abraham prayed that people will look old. Why? Because Abraham and Yitzchak looked the same. So people did not know who is the father, who is the son. So Abraham prayed that people who look old and actually know that they are old, feel old. Because people did not feel old until they died. And as we find in Yitzchak, he was old and he stopped seeing. He started having this feeling of oldness and he started seeing good. So, one question that we need to understand. What's so special about Yitzchak? He looked like his father. Of course he will look like his father. Every child has similarity to his father. What's so special? Why God forced to do something special about Yitzchak that he will look like his father? A child look like his father and mother, of course. Not exactly the same. What's so special about Yitzchak? Why it needed to be something special? It's something natural. Like father, like son. First of all, we need to understand there is few things that our sages saying that they are something that God doing specially. This is something special that God did. What is special? What is special for us? We know something that it's easy to do. We're doing every day. Okay. Something that it's not easy. It's hard working. It's something beautiful. This is special. I did this drawing. I built this house. This is something special. But for God, every day a kid is born like his father. He's doing many miracles. It's everything is by God. What is special? So there is things that our sages saying it's hard for God. It's special. What does that mean? It's hard for God? What does that mean? And the known explanation for that is that, for example, our sage is saying that there is things that are hard for God, like Kriyat Yam Suf, like the splitting of the Red Sea. What was so special, so hard, like the splitting of the Red Sea? Because it was a miracle, it was hard? No. What was hard about the miracle of splitting of the sea was the fact that in the same time, the Jewish people did not had any harm from the water. Actually, the water protected the Jewish people. They were going inside the sea and the water standing. So the fact of the miracle, the water standing, it was not hard. But they had that in the same time, Jewish people going and being saved by the water. And in the same time, the Egyptian people, the Egyptian nation, dying from the sea, the water falling on them apart. That act is called hard. Why? Because it's two different forces, two different kind of revelation that God revealing in the same time. Of course, when we're talking about God himself, it's not hard. If we're talking about how God draw himself in way of the, as we call it, Sefirot, the Midot, the spiritual forces of God, kindness and harshness or judgment. So every kind of spiritual power is a different one. When a person doing something kind, God giving him kindness. When a person doing something not good, God judging him. Yes? But in the same time that the same act will represent two kinds of spiritual powers, this is called hard. But it's hard only in the level of God that connected to those powers. Of course, there is God himself. God himself is not the powers that he built as a person. A person have kindness, have sometimes he's happy, sometimes he's angry, but this is not him. Him is not happiness or angriness. Him is him himself. So God himself is not hard for him. But as God created his way to reveal himself, he built in himself those kinds of forces. So to combine them both in the same act, this is called hard. But God can do it, because of course there's God himself, that he can do whatever he wants. He can combine everything. We can be revealed only in one force at a time, but God can reveal both of them in the same act. So this is why Kriyat Yam Suf, the splitting of the sea, called hard, because in one act we're revealing two forces. After we understand that, we can start understanding the story of Yitzchak and Avraham and why it was a special act of God that Yitzchak will look like his father. We know that every of our fathers gave to us, the Jewish nation, some special power, some special emotion, or some special inheritage that we have inside us. God gave to the fathers, or the fathers were representing of special power, and they inherit to all their grandchildren, the Jewish nation, those powers inside them. Abraham was the representative of kindness. All the stories of Abraham, as we mentioned earlier in the Torah, represent the spira, the spiritual energy of God from the 10 Sefirot, from the 10 powers that God created. Abraham represented the spira of Chesed. What is Chesed? Kindness. Yitzchak representing Gvura, judgment. Yaakov representing Tiferet, truth. Today we're going to talk about Abraham and Yitzchak, and we will understand why it's a big thing, why it's a miracle that Yitzchak came from Abraham. We already understand. Yitzchak is Gvura, is the opposite of the kind person. Abraham was a kind person, a person of chesed, always happy. All his face represent kindness. Yitzchak may look like his father, but he will appear, of course, very different, because Yitzchak represents judgment, harsh. So of course they may look the same, but Yitzchak, of course, will not appear the same as his father, because Yitzchak was the opposite of his father. He represents the harshness, the judgment of God. And that was the miracle, that Yitzchak looked like his father. But to understand that, we first of all need to understand what is kindness, what is judgment, how come Yitzchak was the representative of judgment. Was he a bad person? Of course not. What does that mean? So what is kindness and what is judgment? Kindness, of course, we're talking about the kindness of Abraham as a representative of Chesed of God. I give everyone. I give everyone. Does he deserve? No. I am a kind person. I give even though he's not deserving. I give everyone. So Abraham gave tzedakah to every person. Why? He didn't care if the other one deserved. Yitzchak is the judgment, is gvura. He really care if the other one deserve. So, what is the core difference between the kind person and the judgment person? The kind person give to everyone. The judge person give to a person that deserve. Who is more looking at the other one? The person that is kind or the person that is judging? The person that is kind is giving and giving. He feels in himself only the giving part. Actually, it's more connected to himself. He giving. I not deserve it. Maybe it will not be good for me to get. No. You should get. This is kind. But the judgment, he judging, it's good for him. He deserve it. He will do with it good things or not. This is judgment. You know, rain in Hebrew is called Geshem, and the blessings of rain called Gvurot Kshamim. Rain, the judgment of rain. Why? Because rain is a good thing, it's kindness. God giving us kindness from heaven. Of course, in lands that need the rain to exist. But if he would give only from the kindness, spiritual force of kindness would be the only responsible of the rain, we will have flood. Because he will give and give. You will not see how much we deserve and how much is good for us. Because the rain is also, there is the judgment force, so we have drops of rain. And then we're able to get it, to receive it in the level that we want and need. So judgment, it's more about looking what the other person needs. In other words, the judgment is a force that connected to the level of the receiver, and the kindness is a force that connected to the giver. Abraham was the giver; he gave to everyone. Yitzchak, he gave in another way. He gave to people that needed it, that deserve it, that did good use with it. And also in their level, how much, what will be good for them, what they will understand, what they will comprehend. How we find it? What we found about Abraham is stories about kindness. Kindness and kindness. About Yitzchak, we're learning about the stories of the whales. Yitzchak, it's the only thing that we're learning about Yitzchak as a character. Yitzchak was a person that dig wells. In the spiritual level, where we're learning that it's connected about the receiver, about working from the earth, the core of things, how much he can get and how much the earth deserve and can comprehend. So he worked with the earth level. This is the spiritual work that connected to the receiver of the blessings. So that was the work of Yitzchak. So in our soul, we have the work of Avraham. We have kindness in ourselves, unlimited kindness. But we can feel love for God, but after 5 seconds, we will think about something else. Why? Because it was the love of God. It was not connected to your level, to your daily lives level. The work that we connecting spirituality to our lives in the daily lives, it's more connected to the line of Yitzchak, that Yitzchak is about the receiver, about the level of the person itself in his daily life, not only when he's in Shabbat or in a spiritual high level as a spiritual person. This is how it's connected to our lives. Now let's get back to Yitzchak, the son of Abraham. Abraham is the father of Yitzchak. People said how this person, exactly the opposite of Abraham, how he is the son of Abraham. Abraham is a giver, Yitzchak is a receiver. It's two lines that are not connected to each other. And this is the answer. The answer is Abraham Olidat Yitzchak. They are both there to the other. A person cannot be only giver. To the Jewish nation, we need the giver and the receiver. We need chesed and gvura. We need kindness and judgment. It's not enough to be giver and giver. You should comprehend what you have. You should connect it to your lowest level of people in your daily life, to the lowest times of your life. You should not be Jew only in synagogue. You should be Jew only also in work. So that was the miracle. God showed everyone that Yitzchak looked like Abraham. Yitzchak combining the kindness of Abraham and connecting it to the lowest levels. And that's why that was the miracle, that Yitzchak looked like Abraham. Everybody understood that Yitzchak is continuing the good work of Abraham in a more deeper level, in a more deeper way. We connecting to the kindness of Abraham, not only when we're in a good mood, also when people are in bad mood or people are in lowest levels, they're not feeling open heart like Abraham felt all the time. Also, when the heart is more closed, they also can connect those levels to godliness. And this is the meaning of the face of Yitzchak as a different way person look like Abraham. And now we can understand a bit more. I just would say the point. Yitzchak was connected to Esav. Esav was not a regular person. He was not a wicked person. Of course he was. But there is two kinds of serving God. There is a person that he is holy. He is always connected to God. From his mother's pregnancy, he always running to the good sides, like Yaakov in Rivka's belly, always searching for goodness, always related to goodness. And there is a different way of serving God. There is people that, not from their birth, they connected to goodness. They run to bad things, to do bad things. But they will not serve God? No, of course they will. Even if they will start serving Hashem, serving God, it will be in a much deeper levels. They would find God in a levels that the holy person will not find them. They will find God in the fields. They will find God in the job. that they're not working a so beautiful job, like the holy person. They can find God everywhere if they will search for him. It's much longer journey. And that was the journey of Esav, the brother of Yaakov. Esau was born not to be a holy person. He was born to find God in places that Yaakov will never find. But Esau did not get there, unfortunately. But that was the connection between Yitzchak and Esau. Yitzchak saw it in Esau. Yitzchak saw that Esau had much greater potential. Esau, if he will have those blessings, and that's the reason that Yitzchak brought down to our world these major blessings, because Yitzchak had this power. And he found this power in Esau. But it did not came to in fact, because Yaakov took it. And it was not, as of course, a bad thing. It was from heaven, because the world was not ready for it. But that was the connection. That was the line. Abraham is the father of Yitzchak, because Yitzchak completing something that Abraham was not. Abraham was only kindness. Yitzchak was judgment. And he saw in Esav the way to connect holiness also in a lower places, in the fields, something that Yaakov did not have. And that was the connection. And of course, to our life, we need to remember that the main point is not to know that Abraham is open heart. Meaning, you deserve it, you not deserve it, Abraham giving you. But it have no connection to the level that we are in. We can feel very high levels, but we need to know that in the morning after, we need to connect those good feelings to our daily lives. And this is the power of Yitzchak. That his heart was not open like Abraham. He judged, is it connected to my level? How I'm making this connected to my daily life? And this was, as I mentioned, the connection between Yitzchak and Yaakov. Shabbat Shalom, that we will be able to learn from our fathers and connect it to our daily lives.